but I thought it was important for Arizonans to know that the weapon and the man who we believe that was responsible for what started this spree in Arizona is in custody.
And this is the suspect in the I-10 freeway shootings, 21-year-old Leslie Allen Merritt Jr. This is him being taken into the 4th Avenue jail overnight very early this morning. He arrived there just after 2 a.m., and it's where he still sits right now, waiting to make his first appearance before a judge.
A good morning, Arizona. Drivers around the valley are a lot less nervous after troopers say they have their guy. 21-year-old Leslie Allen Merritt Jr. was arrested around 6:45 last night outside a Walmart near 57th Avenue and Northern. We're told Merritt is tied to 4 of the shootings through the weapon used in those incidents. It was a 9mm handgun. Authorities say Merritt tried to sell at a pawn shop. We spoke with his family, and his father says he is not the shooter. The suspect's father, Leslie Allen Merritt Sr., did not have much to say to us, but he was very direct with his message.
Whoever reported this and claimed my son is a freeway shooter is a moron. Have a good evening.
Well, there you go right there. Merritt Sr. says he was asleep during the arrest and was woken up to be told his son was in jail, accused of being the freeway shooter.
And here's a look at the 4 shootings investigators say he is linked to. All of them on the I-10, 3 on August 29th, 1 more on the 31st. Many other shootings still under investigation. Here's a breakdown of the 11 confirmed shootings, which are part of this overall investigation. 8 of them confirmed shootings along the I-10 corridor between 32nd Street and 83rd Avenue. The last incident was a week ago Thursday. DPS is also investigating reports of additional shootings on the 202, the 17, and the 51. At least one of them may have been road rage. Well, the head of DPS calls the shootings domestic terrorism. Law enforcement across the valley increased patrols and asked drivers for tips. Electronic signs above the freeways continue to flash that tip line 24/7. Phoenix police spent the week passing out flyers. Drivers avoided freeways. Schools rerouted their buses. So a lot of lives have been altered as the investigation moved forward.
Governor Ducey this morning reminding everyone, despite this arrest, to stay alert. If you have any information on this case, please continue to call the tip line at 602-644-5805. And if you do not have that number on speed dial, well, we do. It is just 1 click away on our 3TV mobile news app.
And we're going to have much more on the suspect and his social media footprint, which is pretty surprising and interesting in our next half hour. But first, time to check in on the weather this weekend. Hey, Kim.
Good morning, guys. Pretty nice weather to kick off this morning. We've got low humidity. We've got cool temperatures around the valley in the 70s. So all in all, get outside and take advantage of it. Let's take a live look outside. This from Wrigley Mansion. We do have a little bit of cloud cover out there, and we're about 10 minutes away from that official sunrise. But right now at Sky Harbor, we're sitting at 80 degrees. That dew point just at 41, so about 15 degrees lower than that dew point was at this time yesterday morning. And winds are out of the east at 5 miles per hour. It's 77 in Tempe, 78 in Scottsdale. We've got the low 70s in Gilbert, as well as Peoria, Anthem, and Surprise. Litchfield Park checking in at 72, with Levine at 77. So Doppler 360 tracking a few isolated showers this morning. This is going to be south of Interstate 8, well south of Casa Grande as well. These are tracking from southwest to northeast. We have such a dry atmosphere in the valley. These would not survive heading into the valley. But we are tracking some rain in the next couple of days for not only the mountains, but across Metro Phoenix. So we'll take a look at Futurecast coming up in the next 10 minutes.
Thank you, Kim. See you in a bit. New this morning, a fire ripped through a vacant 2-story home on East Fairmount Avenue. That's near 12th Street and Indian School Road in Phoenix. Flames broke out just before 3 o'clock this morning. Fire crews looking into how this fire started. They are also on the scene of another apartment fire which damaged at least 1 unit. This one happened around midnight near 24th Street and Indian School Road. The man in the apartment was able to get out, but he was taken to the hospital for evaluation.
A Valley man tries to stop a crime and loses his life.
It's tragic that this man lost his life trying to take care of this young lady.
Police say 42-year-old Miguel Braceno was talking with a group of people near 46th Street and Broadway when a stranger walked up and tried to steal a purse from a woman.
Braceno steps in to assist this young lady with this suspect. At some point, the suspect lets the purse go. After the suspect leaves, the group realizes that Mr. Braceno is bleeding pretty badly from the neck.
Neighbors heard screaming.
All I heard was someone say that someone got stabbed or something. Call the police.
Briseno later died at the hospital. Police still have not found a weapon, and they don't know what caused the deadly injury. If you know anything about this crime, call Silent Witness.
Arizona congressman wants to crack down on illegal gun sales. Representative Ruben Gallego, along with other members of Congress, introduced a bill that would require the feds to establish a code of conduct for licensed gun dealers. A national good neighbor certificate would be made for those who obey gun dealing requirements. The proposal would also require the Department of Justice to investigate illegal firearms dealers and identify where they are being sold. And another Arizona congressman has introduced a bill that would overhaul the prison system. Representative Raul Grijalva's proposal would ban privately run prisons and end family detention. The Justice is Not for Sale Act would also reinstate the federal parole system and would prevent companies from overcharging inmates for services like phone calls.
Before you head out this weekend, I want to give you a heads up on a pretty big weekend construction closure, and we take you to the Loop 202, the Red Mountain Freeway in North Mesa, closed, at least a section of it as we speak. The 202 eastbound is shut down from the 101 over to Country Club. It's supposed to be closed all weekend long, not due to open until Monday morning. So let's talk about your alternates. If you want to surface street or in and around this area, to the north, McDowell would work, to the south, University or Rio Salado. If you want to stay on a freeway, I say drop all the way down to the US 60. That's going to be your best bet.
Okay, Gina, a woman is recovering in the hospital this weekend after being thrown from a horse. It happened in North Phoenix. Firefighters say she was riding in a wash near 7th Avenue and Desert Hills when she was thrown. The extent of her injuries is still unknown. A massive rock on the verge of crashing into the base of the Glen Canyon Dam at Lake Powell is a lot more stable this morning. Federal officials say crews have drilled about 50 bolts into this slab to hold it into place. The 500,000-pound slab of sandstone began to break away last month. Crews near Page will continue working to stabilize it. River trips launching from the dam below have been relocated until that work can be finished.
In Health Watch this morning, a salmonella outbreak is making hundreds of people sick around the country, including more than 80 right here in Arizona. Now a Valley man is suing. Bill Levy says he was on a juice diet, trying to lose some weight, juicing 5 to 6 cucumbers a day in July. But after just a few days of that, he got sick. And that is why he is suing the produce company Andrew and Williamson Fresh Produce.
Apparently they had some kind of salmonella bug in them. And the next thing I know, I'm like saying ow in my sleep, and I'm having these fevers and diarrhea and vomiting. I was a sick puppy. I was just in agony.
That does not sound like fun at all. Well, he says he hopes a lawsuit will help cover thousands of dollars in medical expenses. Well, we've all done it. You start to feel sick but don't want to go to the doctor, so instead you turn to old Dr. Google, right? Well, Holly Furfer says all this self-diagnosing may hurt us more than help us.
An ache, a pain, a sore throat. Years ago, those symptoms may have sent you to the doctor. Today, with so much information on the internet, it's hard not to get online and self-diagnose. But doctors warn that may not help.
I went on a symptom checker and put in dizziness, and at least 10 or 15 diagnoses came up, and many of these diagnoses were somewhere as simple as an earache to as severe as a heart attack.
In fact, a study out of Harvard University found when patients check symptoms online for the average illness, about 66% of the time, the first diagnosis was wrong. Even though the study also said in 80% of emergency situations, symptom checkers correctly advise the patient to seek immediate medical care.
And I think if someone self-diagnosed themselves, they may stay home, and by the time they really decide to come to the hospital, it may be too late, and they may suffer some undire consequences.
Well, I think we're all guilty of that, right?
All the time. Constantly. If I have an itch, what is it? itch on right, left,
Right.
wrist.
It's usually something dire, too, when you type it in.
And you're certain you're going to die.
Yes.
Well, if you're looking to add a furry friend to your family, right now you can do it for $20 or less.
Maricopa County Animal Care and Control is extending their Dog Days of Summer event through the end of September. All dogs are $20, and so are kittens younger than 6 months. Cats older than 6 months are free.
Wow.
All of the new pets go home spayed or neutered, and if they're old enough, with their rabies shots. You can take home a dog or cat at any of the Animal Care and Control adoption locations.
Oh, that one needs to go. Who wants that one right there? So cute.
All available.
Oh, well, we have a great show coming up for you this morning. Still ahead, Tyler Baldwin has your sports wrap.
Plus, Pope Francis in the air right now, flying toward Cuba. We'll tell you what to expect from his various public